Hello, everybody, and welcome. My name is Julie Mann. I am a professional network marketer. I'm an actor and I'm also an EFT practitioner. And I'm absolutely delighted today because I'm joined by Elizabeth Leonard. Hi, Elizabeth.
Hi, Julie. I'm so happy to be here today. Thank you for having me.
It's really great to see you. I know that you do a lot of things. You're a business mentor, you're a strategist, an
Yeah,
entrepreneurship trainer, and
yeah,
also you're a copywriter as well.
yeah.
But before we get into talking about your own business now, I
Mm-hmm.
know that you've worked as an accountant and
Mm-hmm.
been a finance assistant.
Yeah.
Was it that you actually excelled at maths at all? Or I know you say math over there, don't you? We say maths in the UK. But how were your sums? Is that why you went into it?
Yeah, well, that accounting or finance is not really like the hard math. It's simple math, but then it comes with structure and process and the guiding principles to follow. And but it's basically simple math. But then it's just the guidelines and the policy or principles, the guiding principles to follow, and that's just the most important part of it. And yeah, but my math has been just good um, in my background, and yeah, I know that when it comes to finance, there are some analysis also that will be needed and statistics. For instance, if we are doing some scenario analysis about to make projections and to analyze a report, but then that's okay, and it's been good so far in school. And for me, what I can say that I excel at is making impact in other entrepreneurs, because that's just me. That's my desire. That is what led me to starting a business and training business owners or coaching them or guiding them. Sometimes I help them with implementation, but the result and the transformation that comes out of it, it's what gives me joy and makes me feel like I want to be part of this.
Fantastic. So before we kind of go into that a little bit more about the
Yeah.
specifics of what you do, I just really want to touch, back into those days when you were an accountant, because,
Hmm.
I imagine that it's most of the time, a fairly solitary profession. So
Hmm.
what was it like working in that environment? Because now you're working with people. I mean,
Yeah.
what was it like in that environment?
Yeah, working as an accountant doesn't mean that I won't work with people, because I need to work with people in other departments, depending on the size of the company. Because now, I remember when I was working with the United Nations, I had to work with some other department to get the reports of their transactions, their travel, the expenses, and all departments need to submit to us. We need to, myself and my colleagues, we need to approve some expenses, some transactions. So we interacted with people from other departments, and we also educate them on what needs to be put into consideration before they incur any expenses, what they need to look out for. And yeah, I'm still working with people. And there were times that I also consulted for small businesses where I only had to work with the owner. So yeah, when working on their account, yes, that seems solitary, but I still needed to engage with the owner of the business by asking them questions, proof of some transactions. There are some document, for instance, the receipt, the bank statement, and some simple explanations of who is this person, who is this vendor, who is this supplier, you know,
Yeah.
and who is this client, to be able to put them to code the transaction appropriately or categorize the transaction appropriately.
Yeah. So what was it then that had you decide to do something completely different?
Okay, I'm not doing something that is totally different, because I'm just doing something that seem whole in terms of an organizational system or a business system. I had to I love it because accounting is just one arm of the business. But then the strategy will also cut across all the departments, all the units, or the structure of a business or an organization. So that's why I just felt like I have a strength in this. I can take it further, and accounting is part of it. Now, accounting or finance is just a part of what I'm doing now, but not everything. I just took it to the higher level.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people, like, I imagine they don't really want to work for someone else. But we know that having our own business, it takes work, doesn't it? In fact,
Yeah.
unless you find a way to make your business work for you,
Mm-hmm.
it's like having a job, but without the perks, without the holidays, without,
Yeah.
in the UK, without the sick pay.
Mm-hmm.
So, what are some of the challenges, Elizabeth, that you had to face growing your business?
Wow. Number one, there was a time where finance or funds was an issue where it seemed like I took a break, but not intentionally. I just needed to, it was just a change where I had to be with the kids, although my husband is working. So those moments, because I'm the only one working, I mean, in my business, I do not have a team. There was a time I had a team, but that season of the business, I didn't have a team. So if I stop, nothing is working, nothing is going on in the business, and no income was coming in. So that was an issue for me. And I almost lost my website because it got to a stage where I couldn't afford to pay for the website. Well, eventually I was able to. I mean, for the hosting of my website. And eventually I was able to. But one thing I just wanted to say is another thing was being able to afford help, because I needed to take my business to another level, and I needed a coach, but I couldn't afford it to around that time because of finance. And I do not believe in just one time help. I think at different phases of a business, you need to keep growing, developing. And I always say that personal development is a matter of self worth. Do you think you desire, do you think you worth that kind of investment, or your business is worth that kind of investment? And my answer is always yes, because the outcome is worth it. At the end of the day, you enjoy the outcome. It's good for you and it's good for your business. So those were just trying to manage everything, family and also business together has just been my challenge. But then I'm finding a way around it by trying to be realistic with myself, what I'm able to do, and blocking a time for myself to work in that. And around that time, I just thought, okay, I could put it aside. And now I'm also learning to have a team. I once had it, but now no one can do it alone.
Oh, I absolutely agree. And I love that you brought up about self-worth,
Hmm.
because that shapes how our life turns out, doesn't it, really?
Yeah,
In all areas of life.
yeah.
Now, you mentioned your children. I think you've got two children, haven't you?
I've got three.
Three children. But I also know that you've had to relocate because of your husband's job.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
is that something that no matter, wherever he needs to go and work, you have to go with him? So actually having an online business is the
yeah,
perfect thing for you.
yeah, yeah. So, yeah, that has been the good side of things, because I had to sit down and just know that this is my situation. So, what's the best way for me to operate my business? Should I take it online? Of course, when I started, it wasn't online. Even working as an accountant wasn't online. I only did full-time job once or twice. Others, my clients working as an accountant has been client me consulting for this company and another business. So, but COVID has reinforced this, the pandemic. when everyone has been forced to move online, it's helped me appreciate that. And like I said, like I usually say to myself, that 2020 came with threats and opportunities. So it's a matter of your perspective and analyzing your business and finding what do you have, how can you maximize this opportunity. And then I I have some coaches which I follow, and I also bought their courses to learn and also to grow and see how I can maneuver and do this.
I love that you brought up perspective. And also, I totally agree. We don't have to do it on our own. We really
Mm-hmm.
don't. It's so much more fun when
Yeah,
we're doing it as a team, isn't it? So
yeah.
let's talk strategy, Elizabeth,
Okay.
because that's what you're good at. So, why is strategy so important? And what is it that you specifically provide for your clients?
Okay. So strategy is important because it helps you anticipate uncertainty and then get you prepared for that. So, in short, or in simple terms, strategy helps you build a sustainable business, and it precedes tactics. People just, many people just um, try so many tactics on internet and try it and try and move from one to another that they found on the internet. So I think that strategy helps you look at your business and see how you can position yourself according to what aligns to your kind of business in the market and what you have, your capabilities. So that's why I really love strategy, because at the end of the day, it keeps your business standing and you're able to employ other services and also carry out your service or sell your product. And what I offer for my client is I offer mentorship. Currently, I've been mentoring different kinds of business, and I help create a sustainable system for your business in terms of strategy also. And I have a 1 month intensive program ongoing, which, coming up February 15th for the next 5 weeks on how to get clients. Yeah, and I also offer one-on-one coaching. And there's another thing which I do behind, because I have a passion for the next generation, which is life coaching for teenagers. And I have teens which I coach at the moment.
Brilliant. And I imagine that the strategy has to always be in line with the values of the
Yeah,
person that you're working with, because
yeah.
if we're doing something and it's out of integrity with what we believe in and who we think
Hmm.
we are and what we
Hmm.
stand for, it's just not going to work, is it? It's not going to be enjoyable, it's not going to be fulfilling.
No, it won't. And there is no one size fits all. And that's why it's good for you to assess your business, know what you're offering, know what you stand for, because your audience also want to see your perspective. If you're going to be a thought leader, they want to see your perspective about your opinion about something. And if you're going to strategize, then it has to align with your values and what you are offering or the nature of your business. For instance, a chiropractor might see it as inappropriate to directly contact people. So maybe a chiropractor might just want to network. So those are few strategies for when it comes to marketing that you can think about what you're doing and what will work for your business.
So are you working with all types of people in all
Yeah,
types of businesses?
yeah.
Yes, all over the world.
I actually niche down to people in the IT industries, but then I get people from other industries. I've assisted consultants. I've assisted people in wellness, like owning a spa. I've assisted someone in IT industry who is also a consultant to banks. I'm trying to remember the industries. Um, yeah, different people from all kinds of industries are attracted to me. And yeah,
Which must make it very, very interesting.
interesting.
And
Yeah,
you're constantly learning new things from
yeah,
people.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
So I keep hearing, I don't know about you, but I keep hearing the word pivot. I hear it
Okay.
practically daily.
Yeah.
What does pivot mean to you? And what advice would you give to someone who right now needs to pivot?
Okay. To me, pivot means, when I hear pivot, it means development, it means growth, it means to scale. And so, what I would advise someone who would like to pivot is, um, to not be afraid to take risk, to walk outside of your comfort zone, because that's how you grow and that's how you learn. It brings out some things, some hidden capabilities that you might not thought you have, and it expands your capacity. Also, do not be afraid to work with others, because that's how you can scale. If you're going to do it alone, you will reach a certain threshold or a limit where you can scale beyond that. But for you to scale, you need others.
Brilliant. Yeah, absolutely. Now, you touched briefly on being a mentor for teens, and I
Yeah.
know that you've done quite a bit of volunteer work, haven't you, including Children in Freedom?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, is that what you were referring to? Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, okay. Being a life coach for teenagers is what I started recently. Prior to that, I've been teaching youth development program, and where I teach kids how to code and teach them leadership skills. That one has been ongoing also since I started almost 7 years ago, where I brought in experts to train recent graduates and kids in high school. I taught them, I trained them by myself, all these leadership skills that are needed, and these are being translated into their academics and their personal life. And so now, because of the pandemic, I just thought, hearing the news of how teenagers are going into depression, are tired of staying at home, I just make myself available to them as the life coach for preteens and teenagers. And yeah, so I'm doing that personally. I got a few clients, which I mean kids that I'm coaching.
Amazing. What a
Yeah,
fantastic thing to do. Yeah, they are the future, aren't they? So
yeah,
absolutely, let's treat them well.
yeah.
How would you like the world to remember you?
I would like the world to remember me as someone who made a huge impact in their life, who touched them even when they are not close to me. For instance, it could be someone that made me take that bold step just listening to her, someone that made me move from where I was. Because a lot of us try to daydream. We've got dreams, we've got visions. And when we imagine ourselves in that, which is also good, we enjoy the thought and the imagination, but we never make a move. We are scared of the shame that may come from it, the rejections that may come from that, from people around us who, because normally who might not be comfortable with a change in our lifestyle. But I want to be remembered as that person that made them make the move.
Beautiful. And I have read some of your testimonials, Elizabeth, and clearly you do an amazing job at what you do. And what I love is that you're very, very understated. And there's a kind of humbleness about you, which is really fantastic.
Thank
So
you.
before we go, is there anything else you'd really, 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 really like to say?
Yeah, yeah. So I would like to tell everyone watching us now that whatever you do, every little effort, if it's to read that book or to read the journal or to try something, it goes a long way. You are progressing. Do not feel discouraged. Do not compare yourself with anybody. You are in the journey of yourself, and you are your own number one audience, and you need to do it for you. You don't need to prove a point to anyone. Prove it to yourself that you can do it.
I love that. Elizabeth Leonard, thank you so
Yeah.
much for talking to us today.
Thank you. I'm so honored to be here.